All right, guys, so let's review back what we just went over before we went to lunch. So we were talking about figurative language, and we discussed that there are a few types of figurative language. And so far, what we talked about, examples that we talked about are simile, metaphor, alliteration, onomatopoeia, personification, hyperbole, and idiom. Can somebody raise their hand and tell me what is personification? Go ahead, Zariah.
Personification is when human qualities are given to animals actors or
Tanisha, mute yourself.
It ain't
You
come
gotta
up.
mute yourselves in order for us to hear you, Zariah. All right, Zariah, try it again.
personification is when human qualities are given to animals, objects, or ideas.
Thank you. Good job. Okay, and then we have a simile, which is you compare two unlike things using words like or as. You have a metaphor that is direct comparative of two unlike things. And then you have alliteration when words that start with the same sound are used close together in a phrase or a sentence. Onomatopoeia is when you have words that make sounds. Hyperbole is over exaggerating, and idiom is a common saying meaning difference between the words that it makes up. Okay, so we went over this and we played a game, and then we started reading this poem. So, figurative language has a way of having so many words in a poem, and it speaks through figurative language in such a way, meaning that if you read a poem, you'll see a lot of metaphors, you'll see a lot of similes sometimes you'll see personification, sometimes poems will start using sounds as if they're making banging sounds, which is onomatopoeia. So with these interesting devices, we learn from it, and we also can create our own poems. We can create our own stories. And if you look at different artists like Rihanna or Drake, or you look at 50 Cent, a lot of rappers use a lot of figurative language within their songs. Even pop artists like Ariana Grande, she uses a lot of figurative language within her songs. So we started reading, well, we finished reading Still Needs to Come, and we went over the word summit, and we went over the word respite. And then I wanted to look at the word horizon. So we talked about summit, which is the top of the hill. We talked about the respite, which meaning they're resting their mind. They have a short period of rest. And then horizon is when it's up in the sky, and it's like you see this moment of horizon. So this is what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to read this poem again on your own. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to read it. After those 2 minutes, I am going to ask you two questions, and then we're going to go into answering questions 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I will go over it. So your 2 minutes is starting now. Read it to yourself. Once you're done, you can let me know inside of the chat when you're done. You may begin. So I see Jaden rereading the poem over. Rashad, I'm not sure what you're doing. Tanaya is rereading the poem over. Anaya is reading the poem over. Shadeja is now reading the poem.
Miss Davis,
Yes.
is it a link to this or we go to Canvas?
I want you to read it on the screen first, and then before we do the questions, that's when I'm gonna talk about Canvas.
I could barely see it on your screen.
I can
It's
make it big.
also on, but it's also on Canvas.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, start reading. Shanasia, you should get reading. Antoine, turn on your camera again. Tanaya, I'm not sure what you're doing, but let's go. Shanasia, let's go. Giving you another minute. Okay, now what you're going to do is you are going to go onto Canvas and you are going to look for this assignment. You're going to see stillness to come, and you're going to click on it because this is how you're going to answer your questions. Once you're there, give me a thumbs up so I know you're there, and then I'm going to start reading the questions. Antoine, you there? Jaden, you there? Shanasia, you're there? Anaya, are you there? Shadeja, are you there? Thank you. Zamaya, are you there? Sakaya. Okay, we're waiting on you. Zariah, you there? Okay. Sakaya, let's go.
Mom said you have failed to log in, and it said there was a problem logging in the Broward Country Public Schools.
So then log out, log back in.
I tried that.
Try it again.
It won't let me in Canvas.
That's what I'm trying to see.
You gotta mute yourself, Breon.
Refresh yourselves, please. So if it is telling you that you cannot get into Canvas, then refresh. This is nothing different than what we normally do.
Anijah, are you there? Say it out loud.
Yes. Yeah, I'm there.
I'm doing this because I don't want to hear, or I'm pretty sure Miss Trewick don't want to hear, oh, I didn't do the assignment, or I couldn't finish it. Thank you, Sakaya, for letting me know. Sakura, let me know if you're there or not. All right, so we're going to move on. Okay, so my first question to you is, I want to look at stanza number 1. And I want you to think about what I'm about to read to you. And I want you to answer this as I read it. How does the poem use personification to describe the sun? How does the poem use personification to describe the sun? Think about what it's asking you, what I'm asking you. Still, silent, darkness, faintest breath of light, peeking above the horizon, shimmering and calling to life like a snake the parents crawl to and fro. The early bird has finished his rounds and is resting, warm floods like a river bursting forth in its banks. From its summits, the giver looks down over the land and smiles beneath him. Life teems throughout the fields and cities and homes. The earth is parched and begs relief from the overbearing rays. The early heat lingers. The people minds long for respite. Laughing and running, we are free, they shout free. Movement like a mouse, they dart to the fro. With a thankful hearts, we joy as a family. That last daily hour of our own eyes drooping, mouths yawn, snuggle in, hugs for all. The quiet moment before evening, and then it just begins again. So think about how the poem is using personification. Who can tell me some words that they use to describe this sun? Who can tell me some words that they use to describe the sun? You have to raise your hand. Antoine keeps raising his hand. Zamaya, what words did they use in the poem to describe the sun?
A breath of light.
Good job, a breath of light. What else? Besides Anastasia and Antoine. Go ahead, Shanasia. I hope you know you're on mute.
Oh. Um, after that one,
Say that again.
it's after that same thing. Okay,
Think about it again. We'll come back to you. Sakura, you had your hand raised.
She
Shanasia,
said the same thing I was gonna say.
say it again out loud.
She said the same thing I was gonna say.
Okay, say it again out loud.
she's telling you to say the answer that you were going to say. Don't just say, she said the same thing. Say the answer again.
Shimmering and calling to life.
Thank you. All right, Anastasia, what's another way? Or another example, I should say.
Peeking above the horizon.
Great. Peeking above the horizon. Antoine, is that what you were going to say? Okay, so it's talking about this sun, and it's expressing that the sun is peeking above the horizon and it's shining through this light of life, and it's have this breath of light. So this is words that starts to use personification to describe what object we're talking about within the poem. Question number 1. I'm going to read it to you. You're going to answer it to yourself. You are not writing it in chat. You are not raising your hand. You are not shouting it out loud. You are answering it within Canvas to yourself. Number 1. How does the structure of the poem support the poem's main idea? Is it A, it takes the shape of the day, less words during the sleeping times, more words during the active times? Or is it B, it takes the shape of the word time? The first section is about words that start with T and finish with the words about E. Or is it C, it looks like a gift about to be opened? Or is it D, it goes on and on and on with no ending points in the middle? Pick your answer. Moving on to question number 2. What is the theme of this passage? Is it A, time ends at a midnight? B, time continuously moves every day? C, time should be not wasted? D, time is a gift of children but not adults? Number 3. Which details best support the theme? Eyes, A, eyes droop, mouths yawn. B, shimmering and calling to life. C, with thankful hearts, we join as a family. D, and then we join, then it begins again. Number 4. Why would the author compare moms and dads taking their children to school and heading to work like a snake? Is it A, parents hiss at their children as if they get them ready for school? Is it B, it creates an image of lines of cars moving along roads in same direction? Is it C, in some parts of the world, people bring snakes with them to work? Or is it D, snakes move around the mornings when parents are heading to work? I'm going to give you 1 minute to answer, just in case if you didn't have time to answer within the time I was reading. And then we're going to move on to the next section. Once you have answered questions 1 through 4, you're going to give me a thumbs up so I know. If your camera is off, turn it back on.
And then Madison. He was rushed to the emergency room. They saved his life. He sustained a lacerated liver.
And I,
Elijah, mute yourself.
Antoine, you finished? Let's go. Zariah, you finished? Anijah, did you finish? Thank you, Anastasia. Sakaya, did you finish? Thank you, Shanasia. Jaden, did you finish? Yes, Tazaya.
Can I read the story? Can you scroll up so I can read?
Tazaya, it's on Canvas too, okay?
She
That's
can't
what
get on she can't get on Canvas. That's what I was trying to tell you. She's not able to get on Canvas right
oh,
now.
can you see it now, Tazaya?
Yes.
Okay. Breon, did you finish? All right, moving on to the next slide. Tazaya, the poem is going to be on the next slide as well, okay? You can see it, Tazaya? Okay. Number 5 says, what is the meaning of summit? Ooh, sounds familiar. What is the information? Number 6, what is the information in the passage support the answer to number 5? The reason why I read question 5 and 6 together, because they go together. So whatever answer you pick for number 5, A, B, C, or D, has to go with number 6 because you are supporting whatever answer you pick for number 5. Number 7, how are the lines 12 and 13 related to the lines 16 and 17? You're choosing A through D. Number 8, in line 20, who does this line most likely describe? If you notice that there are numbers on the sides of the poem, so this is giving you a hint of where to look and how to answer the question correctly. Remember, once you're done, give a thumbs up. Jaden, now is not the time to mess with the dog. You're supposed to be answering questions. So let's get moving. I made it a little bigger so you guys could see it a little better. Anaja, did you answer these questions for me?
Ms. Davis, you can make it bigger.
Yes. Anijah. Shanasia, did you finish? Thank you. Zariah, did you finish? Thank you. Anastasia, did you finish? Antoine, turn back on that camera. Shadasia, did you finish? I can't see you. Zamaya, did you finish? Thank you. Jaden, did you finish? What question are you on, Jaden? Say it out loud, Jaden. What question are you on?
I'm on question 7.
Okay, let's go. Hurry up. All right, let's move on to the next slide. We're going to be doing questions 9, 10, 11, and 12. Then I will be giving you a little bit of time, and then you're going to submit it in, and then we're going to go over the answers. Number 9 says, what do lines 4 and 5 most likely describe? You're choosing A, B, C, or D. Number 10, how do the details in the passage support your answers to number 9? Once again, the answer you pick for number 9, you need to support your answer with number 10. So keep in mind, whatever you choose for number 9, you have to support that answer with number 10. Number 11, how do you know what time of day is most likely shown by the last 2 lines of the poem? And now number 12, what can you infer from the details in lines 16 and 17? I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. Jaden, you got to mute yourself.
Oh my bad.
Thank you, Anastasia. You can put your paper down. Thank you, Antoine. Jaden, turn back on your camera. If you are done, or once you are done, if I were you, I would go over the answers that I have, not just put things away or just leave the paper to the side. Because when you take your test, you should always check over your answers. This is a great strategy to check over your work. Shanasia, are you done? Shanasia, did you check over your work?
So far, only one person's turned it in.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Treywick. I'm going to give you about another 4 minutes, and then everybody has to submit it in, and Miss Treywick is going to let me know, and then I will go over the answers. Because it seems like everybody else in class is a little bit done, and we're waiting for the people online. Shouldn't you stop touching your camera? Jaden, what question are you on?
I'm done.
Thank you. You were supposed to give me a thumbs up to let me know that you're done.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Breon, what question are you on? Oh, Breon. Sakura, what question are you on? Sakura, you could tell me out loud because I can't see it in the chat.
11.
Thank you. Shadeja, what question are you on? Anijah, did you finish? Okay, if you have not submitted it in, now it's time to submit it in. I'm going to go over the answers. Ms. Treywick is also going to let me know who submitted it in. Remember, this is a part of a grade.
So the people who have turned it in are Zariah, Anaya Francis, Antoine, Shanisha, Jakari, Shadeja, Jaden, Zmaya, AW. That's it.
So we missing. I know Taziah has some issues. So Anijah, nothing. Sakura, what's going on? Okay.
No, those are the people who are going to get the grade. It's just that simple.
Yep.
So anyone that submits after that, you will not get credit for this.
Miss Treywick,
May I help you?
what about the people that Canvas wasn't working?
You're going to have to make sure that you would have had this written down on another sheet of paper.
Alright.
Put yourself on mute. All right. Let's go over the questions. Question number 1 says, how did the structure of the poem supports the poem? Main idea. The answer is A. It takes the shape of the day, less words during sleeping time and more words during the active time. Number 2, what is the theme of this passage? Number 2 is letter B. Time continuously moves every day. Number 3, which details best supports the theme? The answer is D. And just then it begins again. Number 4, why would the author compare moms and dads taking their children to school and heading to work like a snake? The answer is B. It creates an image of lines of cars moving along roads in the same direction. If you are unmuted, you need to mute yourself. Question number 5. What is the meaning of summit? The answer is B. A very high point. Number 6. What information in the passage supports the answer to 5? The answer is D. The life giver looks down. Number 7, how are the lines 12 and 13 related to lines 16 and 17? The answer is D. They both examples of personification. 8, in line 20, who does this line most likely describe? The answer is C. Children leaving school in the afternoon. Number 9, what does line 4 and 5 most likely describe? The answer is A, the rising of the sun. Number 10, how does the details in the passage support your answers to number 9? The answer is C. They describe how the sun can barely be seen when it first starts to rise. Number 11, how do you know what time of day is most likely shown by the last 2 lines of the poem? The answer is B. Midnight is the point during the day when the tomorrow arises. Number 12, what can you infer from the details in lines 16 and 17? Let me scroll up so you guys can see it. The answer is D. It is very hot outside. Those are the answers that you should have written down and submitted in. Reminder, the people who submitted it in that Ms. Treywood listed, you will get credit. If you submit it after, you will not get credit. Thank you, Ms. Treywood.
Miss Davis,
Yes,
what answer you said for number 11?
it's B.
Okay.